evening. I thought I would wait until the evening to show you the views. Just got finished with a little band workout out here. And where to start? Where to start? I was chatting with this guy from yesterday that I want to share about or talk about, and then some learnings, I think, from today, implementing today. So I was chatting um, with this guy who uses my software, and he's got like 20,000 plus YouTube subscribers. And he said in our group he was making something like over 40,000 a month. And he was he told me he's building a YouTube course for growing on YouTube. And he messaged me and said he'd like to partner up with me and my software and basically to upsell my software inside of the course as a like, here's what to do. Oh, and here we have this tool, this software that does exactly what you need to do, or like exactly what you need, and we'll give you a discount or whatever it is. And he was like, "Would you be interested in partnering up?" And I was like, "Excuse me? Yeah." um, I am very interested in that. And this is, I was writing about this in my life update blog post today, that if it goes through, it could be a massive opportunity for me because, I mean, marketing is hard and getting users is hard. And I haven't been building an audience specifically for YouTube creators. I talk to you about my life, but um, not all of you are YouTube creators who would be customers for my software, which is also kind of intended that way. I intended it to be that way. But anyway, so massive opportunity. But like the next second, I thought, I'm not even ready for, like, I'm not ready for that. My software can't handle, like, let's say, I mean, he seems to be very successful. I don't know what his audience is like in terms of how much would buy his course, but if he's got 20,000 subscribers and averages over 1,000 views per video, I don't know, you take 100 people sign up for his course, maybe on the low end, maybe it's like 500, just like initial, I'm talking initial signups. Then how many buy the upsell for the software? It's like any more than maybe 10 users, and my software will probably struggle. Now, I haven't tested that, but there are parts of my software that can handle that. But I'm speaking more as a whole. And so I'm like, yes, of course, I will do that. Of course, yes, let's partner, let's go for it. And then, I turn around, I'm like, I gotta figure out how to do this. So I was like, okay, well, the next couple features, big features that I'm working on are addressing this constraint, scaling up, um, getting to a point where it can handle multiple users, multiple jobs running at the same time, multiple whatevers, multiples. And so I'm like, okay, I just need maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe a month and so I ask him, I'm like, so like what kind of time frame are you thinking about for launching this? And he's like, yeah, maybe in 2 weeks. I'm like, excuse me, 2 weeks. So I have now less than 2 weeks. Now again, this is one of the points that I wanted to make. If it goes through, this could be a huge opportunity for me and a huge opportunity to get more users, more feedback, early adopters, and grow from here. That's if it goes through and if it aligns. So basically, I have 2 weeks to get to that point. Less than that, really. But as I was writing about this today, I was like, well, there's also the case that like let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. What if it doesn't go through? What if this is like, oh yeah, it's a great idea, but it doesn't line up, or things don't work out, and the upsell doesn't work, or whatever. Well, what happens in that case? Because maybe in some situations, I would have just spent a bunch of time working on things that like are no longer valid. But these are the things that I need to do to get this to a place where it can handle actually just slotting in as an upsell on a course. Um, I would need to do anyway, and I would do anyway. Like I haven't added anything new. All it's done is basically light a fire under my butt and give me um, a deadline to work towards, to motivate me towards working harder. And I think the only thing that I've done and probably will do is cut scope for the features that I have been working on. For example, I I got the AI generated thumbnails working. I mean, defined working. You have the ability to generate thumbnails. I made it so that it doesn't run automatically on all new video ideas. You have to manually click to generate a new thumbnail. And the thumbnails are kind of They're not great, honestly. And there was so much more that I wanted to do to make them better and to get them to a better state. But I was like, this was like kind of simultaneously as, or like the same day as I was messaging this guy about this idea. And so I was like, okay, tweaking this until it gets like perfect or whatever is not the highest priority, because it doesn't matter if my thumbnails are beautiful and perfect, but like if I can't handle 10 users or 20 users, then like it doesn't even matter. And so there are more important things right now to get done. And so I just decided it's good enough. It's a good like basic feature. We'll cut the rest of the scope and just like come back to it later and work on um the more foundational things right now. Like I don't even have user accounts. Like I don't have Stripe set up. There Nobody could even pay me if they wanted to. So it's like there are bigger priorities right here, you know? So so yeah, I started working on um I basically shipped the last of the title formats, shipped the thumbnails. And I was like, all right, this is good enough. I'm just going to work on scaling up. And so now I'm working on basically how can I get my software to a point where I can handle many users at one time, whether that's running background jobs instead of doing it, having users wait for them. Um, there's a whole bunch of my code is getting to that point where it's very much spaghetti code, and just kind of a mess. There's like just stuff everywhere. Um, I was using, here's a fun little story. Um, I've been using, I've been storing data in JSON files, which is like perfectly acceptable and fine for early stages. But you obviously run into constraints when uh, you try to scale up to parallel operations, concurrent operations, um, and it's just slow compared to any kind of database. Well, anyway, as I moved from, I think this was as I was starting to implement it, I was trying to save basically video ideas, save video objects and new video idea objects. I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to be able to save a video, have a user be able to save a video so they can filter the results and like see just their saved videos. And and so I was like, well, I mean, I already have this cache um, service class that I made that just like you can grab a cache key and right. Oh, I take it back. I set up the cache JSON files. I set up this cache class to cache API requests and responses, so that if you tried to make the same request to the API to reduce quota, I would just cache the response and then respond with the response, cache response. But I started using that same mechanism to save data of all kinds. So I was saving video objects, video ideas, saved videos, um, the user's watch list, and I was just playing with the um, expiry duration of the cache. So rather than um, responding with a cache miss after like 24 hours, I would set it to like 30 days, whatever. So I was like, okay, I should. I set the maximum like immutable cache expiry to be 30 days. I was like, okay. When I did it, I was like, within 30 days, I'll fix this. Last week, I checked. um, One of the users was having trouble. Like I was seeing errors in the logs, and I was like, "That's so weird. Like it can't find the user's watch. Like it's the watch list. It's just empty." I was like, "That's so." I see the file right there that's holding the watch list, and then I checked the creation date of the file, and it was like 40 days ago, and I was like, "Oh my god." So basically, what happened is um, the software tried to read the file that holds the watch list, basically the channels that the user is watching, tried to read the file using this cache mechanism. And I was like, oh, um, the cache the cache file has expired. It's past this date. Like you need to refetch the data. But I had no mechanism to refetch the data. Um, so it's just like, oh, there's just no watch list. It just doesn't exist. Sorry. It's like that. This is not how this is supposed to work. So anyway, that's an example of um, what I hope to believe is early stage building a software. Lots of shortcuts that you make, but now is the time that I'm trying to do things the right way. So anyway, that's what's going on here. I'm gonna make some pasta and chicken and enjoy the rest of this sunset. See you tomorrow.